I'm not sure if it's gonna work. It promised me if I rotated it, it would go. It has it in lock. So hey, it's just so Trish. I am at home. Well, I've homeschooled 6 kids for the last 10 years. And I'm usually really good about doing YouTube live videos, but apparently not today. So I am making it a point to give you a little ins and outs on how to get started. Oh, come on. Is it going to work? How to get started with homeschooling in Florida, but not how to YouTube and not how to do a live stream, because apparently that is kaploop. I have made you a full video that I cannot upload. I have tried uploading on the computer. It is not working. So I'm doing everything I can not to be a frustrated mom. But I'm here with you, and I'm excited to kind of walk you through the beginnings of homeschooling. So if you haven't done so far, hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if this is what you're looking for, and hit the bell, because I tend to go more live than I actually go and post videos. Mostly because I got a cheap camera and I'm just trying to keep up with the rest of my life. Haven't been doing so. So anyways, welcome to homeschooling. I have some good gems. We're going to talk about some good things. I'm going to somewhat get myself set up because I'm not. So hopefully you'll stick along. Some of you might decide to leave and maybe come back when I'm all together. I think I need to move. See, this is like real life. This is what you do real life. You sit in your bedroom and you make a great video. All right, so my computer, because I'm going to list you through the basics of enrolling and in Florida. What are your options? What to consider with your options? Let's see if I can get this going. Sorry, don't mean to be so unprofessional, but today that's how it is. For those that don't know me, I have been YouTubing, believe it or not, as horrible as this video is going, I have been YouTubing for about the last 5 years. The last 5 years talking homeschool. Can y'all handle the fact that that's... Nope, it's going to tip. I'm trying to get it so it's not angled. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. But what I'm going to talk to you about is about enrolling, how to unenroll from school, enroll into homeschooling in Florida, and then how to find your curriculum, what's available with FLVS, about keeping portfolio, what's required, what are your typical subjects, how to get help, and how to do evaluations. So those are the things we're going to talk about today. For those coming back on the feed afterwards to watch the video, you're going to hear kids because I have 6 of them and that's how it is. But if you have any ideas that you want to also share or links you want to share to things in your county, to just that would be helpful to everybody else, post them below. Now, a lofty goal is, I got to do that little bit of housekeeping. There I go. My goal is to do a 10-part series, but I don't know if I have that capacity because I have a lot going on. But that would be my goal. And so some of these topics, and maybe you want to get back to me when you find, or let me know what you want to do. I know I'm looking to the side because that's where I put the computer. And I'm sitting on the floor, so that means my old knees are going to be killing me. All right. Just so I can kind of monitor it until I get some of my helpers in. I want to talk about later on, I'm not sure when, I want to talk about like what are the benefits of doing the different types of registering. I want to talk to you about what it takes to start. If you wanted to go a private school route, if you wanted to be that administrator, what it would take to do. How to use FLVS Flex, what's available at the school system, even though you've decided to homeschool, what is available to you? What are your requirements if you have a high schooler right now? How to re-enter the school system, K through 8th, and then there's another section of 9th through 12th. of how you would re-enter as a high schooler. I have done so. I've homeschooled 10 years. Last November, I give you a lot of great conversations about being burnt out. I hit my end and I put my kids in school. And I learned about what are the options. And we could do a whole series of videos on just that. How to dual enroll as a homeschooler. And then how to keep a portfolio and have it reviewed. And then what other programs are out there. So we're going to try to cover what we can. I definitely want to use this video as a jumping off point to get started. We might end this video and start another live session afterwards. And after all that's done, I will put links in the description below. So hopefully when you come back to playlist, you will see the sections we're going. So I took notes, believe it or not. I'm not usually a note person. If you go and watch any of my old videos, I like to fly by the seat of my pants. That's just the mom I am. So if you are new, again, if you are new to homeschooling, if you're doing it because of COVID, you're doing it just because of the requirements that are in your county, that's okay. You're going to meet an amazing group of moms. I'm excited to see how the community of homeschooling is going to change. Even in my area, there's such a huge influx. I believe the influx of homeschoolers is anywhere from 2 to 3 times as much as there are currently. And I'm excited about that because I think the moms are going to be able to come together and really build some good community. So if you're in a larger, more populated area, you're going to find there's more things accessible to you as a homeschooler. And if you're in a more rural area like I am, you're going to find that there might not be as much, or there might not even be an interest in, wow, that's a long ad. There might not even be an interest to even get together. And I found that in my own community too. So hello, my friends Darcy and Tanya. Thank you for stopping by. Let's start off with, what do you even need to do to begin to homeschool? So some of you are kind of in the pinch. If you're watching this in July, you got to decide, what are you doing? The first thing you need to do is unenroll in your school. In my area, there's things. There's an enrollment office. There's an enrollment office that does all the paperwork for you. It's simply just like you're transferring schools. Hey, my kid is coming out. And then you need to enroll them to homeschool. Now there's 2 options. That's often not talked about, but there's 2 options. There is the option to be registered as a homeschool through your county. You will have a county homeschool liaison. And then, hey, Fran. And you'll have a county liaison and they handle your paperwork. They're the ones that really just kind of keep everything in check. You will have little to no interactions outside of paperwork, or they might become your biggest fan. It all depends. It all depends on who you work. I've dealt with 3 of them so far. And the one that we have now, the one where we're at now, is hands down the most phenomenal person I've ever had. She's always in my corner, which has been amazing. Or you can do an umbrella school. I'm not going to get in details. In fact, the things I'm going to cover today in this video will not be umbrella school related. I'm going to give you the skinny, so take notes. An umbrella school is essentially, there's code written in there. What is required of a private school? Oh, thanks. What was required of a private school? Some homeschoolers got together and said, if that's all they need to report, why can't we just report that? Because they have a different set of rules about their teachers and what certifications they need to have. And so homeschoolers went to the state, got legislation written, and an umbrella school acts as a private school on paper. And let's see, what does that say? Good morning, it's good to see you online and talking about homeschooling. Your hair is super cute. Curls look great. Thanks. I love to hear in California, but still, yes, and California has its own set of rules. And that's the big part too. I don't think I've said yet. This is Florida because every state is different. Every different set of requirements are completely different. Okay, so an umbrella school, they went and they wrote the legislation. They act as a private school. You are like a private school, and you have an administrator. That administrator is typically another mom who has registered with the state to do all the paperwork. We have been involved in 2 umbrella schools. We have done 2 different umbrella schools. To find umbrella schools, search them up, ask your friends, go on Facebook. I'm not promoting either of the ones I used. I know that at one point we had a co-op, and I didn't realize it, but there was somebody in our co-op that ran an umbrella school. When you register for an umbrella school, it's just like registering for a school, brick and mortar. The one we did, both of the ones I did were very bare bones, minimum umbrella schools. And what was required of us was the shot record, I think birth certificate, and shot record, birth certificate, and a physical, maybe. No, maybe it was just shot records. So don't be shocked. You're going to scan them, upload them, email them, wherever. And then we set the date that we started our school. Some of them may actually have a date that you start. By law, what's required is you submit 180 days of attendance. So a lot of the schools will have you submit that. And you may pay them, they may be free, and that's the end of your requirements. No joke. That's it. Just that you provided 180 days of instruction, education-based learning. With that said, I know that there's some other ones that have certified teachers in them, and they ask a little bit more of you in order to cover you, or they might create you a report card or transcripts that you pay more for. I do know that with doing the umbrella school, you can still do FLVS and you can still dual enroll, but you're going to do that through your person. So I found a really great article, and I'm going to give you just the info. Later on, I'm going to put the link down below, and it's homeschoolingflorida.com/blog/schools-don't-use-1. Don't use one. Okay, so I'm going to just give you the skinny of this. Let me make sure I write down. It's by Luke Tucker. She's a homeschool mom of 5, home education advocate, and former classroom teacher. She's a writer, blogger, poet, and she says, her quotes are, "I just want to encourage and be encouraged, inspire and be inspired, teach a little and learn a lot is her approach to life." So Luke made some really great, I'm going to link her blog post down below after this show. And it's Florida Umbrella Schools, Why Don't We Use One? And she talks about privacy, accountability. She talks about free now, but can be expensive later. Options for extracurricular activities can get complicated. And dual enrollment, not an option in most counties. Oh, I didn't know that was dual enrollment wasn't an option in all counties. College enrollment can be hindered. And Bright Future Scholarships is an issue. So those are her contacts. I'm going to put the link down below later. I'm going to tell you, for me, we pulled out because we couldn't do school activities. We couldn't do school activities in our county. And it was just going to be easier with going into high school and doing golf. When we were ready to start doing... when we were starting to go into wanting to use more FLVS, I wanted to be able to directly connect to my county person and have somebody I can walk in their office and get information. And that's why we swapped out of an umbrella school and went into our county registered school. Okay, so with that said, that's the skinny of umbrella. You report 180 days. You might decide you teach every day of their life, and so it's 365, so it's not a big deal. Nobody comes for your records. Nobody wants to see what you did. You just account for that. Could you hide? Could there be a lot of abuse hidden? Absolutely. Could it be no abuse happens and it's a phenomenal program? Absolutely. If you have ADHD tendencies and you can't keep your checkbook straight because of your ADHD, and it's nice not to worry because you throw your stuff in a box, that's why I used it a lot of the times. I didn't want to deal with portfolios all the time. And so if there was a rough year, it was just easier to do an umbrella school, report education or days done, and we keep moving. It could be the fact like us, our house flooded. We had everything kind of a lost, and then we were living in a tiny little house. It was just easier to report attendance. You will make those decisions for yourself, but definitely later on, go check out her link and read her reasons, and then find yourself an umbrella school. Okay, what I like to do is actually register with the county. Registering with the county works really great. You get to use, you can actually go and take classes if you want them. One of the things, like you want to do FFA, Future Farmers of America, if anybody's interested in that, you have to be enrolled in an agriculture class. You cannot homeschool that agriculture class to do FFA at the middle school or the high school. It's just how it is. So you could actually just go to the school to take the one class. So you kind of get this a la carte method by being registered in the county. If the county has resources, you can still get speech therapy. You can play on the team sports. So you register through your county. So I am going to look at, I'm referencing, sorry. Every county has a contact person, and you would send your notice of intent.
Don't get the real like.
Hey, go. You're not getting in the video today. Nope. Go. I already told him to like. You need to go. He was fixing to come tell you how you need to like my video. FPEA. FPEA.com. FPEA.com is the Florida Parent Educator Association, and they actually have the links. I'm going to put a direct link down below for you afterwards. But they have Find Your District, and when you find your district, you can click on your county and get your contact information, and all you do is send them a notice of intent. Be aware, the state of Florida has their requirements. The home education. So this is the requirement of this notice of intent. He did not shut my door. If it gets loud, I'm going to have to go shut the door. You will send a written notice of intent. This is Florida Statute 1002.41. And you send a written notice of intent to the school district superintendent. The notice must be filed within 30 days of beginning the homeschool education program and must include the following information: name of school educated student or students, if you have more than one, their birth dates, the address, and the parent's signature. So here's the thing to know. When you do that, if you go to the county website, they may very well have their own form. And their form can very well ask for more information for your kids. They are not required to ask that. So keep in mind, you can just literally send a letter. It doesn't say you have to mail it. It just has to be in writing of your child's age, your child's name, or not your age, your child's name, birth date, address, and your signature. So you're going to have to print it out.
Can you want to get up to eat?
Yes. Will you shut my door, please? I got the door shut. You're going to have to sign it, so you can't just email it. Obviously, that would work. You don't have to specify their grade at all. That's all that's required for the letter of intent. So FPA has a link that you can get the information. You can just mail it in. They may or may not respond to you. I've had some that have literally crickets. You don't even know if they received the letter. And then there's one, like the one I have now, she will send out a letter that states our county is recognizing this student as a homeschool student. These students as homeschool students in this home. So if I ever have issues with truancy or somebody calls, I can be like, they know I homeschool. It's right here. We're good. So that's where you begin. You register as a homeschooler. Next, you find your curriculum. Whew, this is a rough one. Okay, there's a lot of things. Life with Fred just shared a great post. It's like, what's your learning style? Oh my word. I will tell you right now, if I was brand new to homeschooling, I had 3 kids, I mean, not even 6, if I had 3 kids or 1 kid, and I said, hey, what do I use? I would feel so overwhelmed, I could probably cry. There is so much curriculum. There are so many curriculum companies. There's so much information. It's going to overwhelm the tar out of you. And you could watch my videos and know there's a lot of curriculum. So what I would say is find out who's using what around you. What is it that you need? Not really what you need, but what is going to be the fit for you. A lot of curriculum that I used in the past and I still lean towards is self-teaching, self-directing. And why do I do that? Because I have 6 children and I cannot physically sit in front of each one and teach them. So I like to give my kids the ability to work on their own and focus on that. And then all I need to do is facilitate, coach, help them move forward. And that's what I found has worked for me. In the beginning years, lots of work because we got to teach them to read, but they become strong readers. That's what I like. That's what worked for me. And that's what has made homeschool doable for 10 years. I forget how many years. It's been a long time. But that's what makes it doable for me. Some moms want the teacher on a video screen and you teach, they learn, you make sure things are happening. They want that instruction. Some moms want it on a computer. Some moms have been waiting for this moment their whole life. They're going to snuggle on the couch and they're going to read fantastic books. Some moms are like, we're going to be completely hands-on and this is what we're going to do. Whew, that's a lot of curriculum options. And believe me, there's something out there for you. Whether you find it or not, I don't know. So, what I think the best way to do is to find some homeschoolers near you. Because believe it or not, they got some curriculum sitting in their house. And if they've been homeschooling a long time and they can't figure out what they like, they probably have a lot of curriculum. So find some homeschoolers. If you can find some local homeschoolers, and at this point, put it on Facebook, put it on social media. If you live in my town or somewhat close to driving, do you know any homeschoolers? I'm looking for some homeschoolers to find out what they use. And go that way. You'll probably then find, oh, there's a group that meets at the park at this certain day. There's so much stuff. If you are just coming to homeschool because of Corona-induced reasons, you're probably not ready to take on the whole, I'm going to teach my kids, but it's like, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to do this. Things I would go for is something that's more self-driven, that you can be a coach with them and you don't feel like a facilitator. Here's my quick and dirty list. I'll try to put it down in the description below when I'm done with this video. Number 1, ACE has been the long-lasting curriculum of choice for probably 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, I got no idea, that is written to the child. Caveat: it can be long, boring, and uninteresting, and it can exhaust a child. Just saying. But it's even got in there, it tells them when to check their work. Works out really great. Lifepac is another version of that. I actually have a whole video, and I might just post it there. I might post it later. Like how to have teaching, when you don't want to teach. So there's that. third, Christian Light Education. They started from Lifepac and evolved into their own thing. Wonderful, still exhausting. Monarch and Switched on Schoolhouse are still a version of Lifepac. Abeka DVDs online. Bob Jones University online. I like abeka over BJU because BJU, when you do distance learning, overwhelms you with paper. Abeka keeps it thinner. Masterbooks.com is probably one of my favorites. It has the whole style and directive of the self-teaching Lifepac Christian Light. Way more colorful, shorter lessons, and much quicker to be effective, especially for those who suffer with ADHD. The Good and the Beautiful is somewhat self-teaching. That's all I got. That's my dirty list, my quick one. So the other one is FLVS. Okay, so leading into FLVS, that would be my next topic. I actually wrote them down. All right, FLVS. If you want to utilize FLVS, you will be utilizing FLVS Flex. You create your own account as a parent, and then you add your children to it. You can start at any time, and you can take as many or as little as you want. I believe it goes into, I have to find my FLVS. I'm just going to read you from the pamphlet. I'm going to put the link below later. Why homeschool families choose FLVS, a variety of flexible and full-time options offering choices in courses and pace, one-on-one instruction from dedicated certified teachers, elementary, middle, and high school subjects offered through more than 190 courses, including AP classes and approved core classes, provides a way for students to get ahead, which we've utilized it for that. Online learning experience that's engaging, professional school counselors, ability to connect with other, we haven't done that part, the connect. So you can go all the way down to where they're very young, elementary school, learning phonics, all the way up through high school. I've tried it in middle school. I have not tried it for elementary school. And I love the high school base. We use high school electives. These are the courses we have completed. Outdoor education, phenomenal program. Your kid can be in middle school when they start it. And outdoor education, they will get their hunter safety course and their boater's license by the time they're done. Win-win. Second is driver's ed. By the time they're done with the FLVS driver's ed, they have their drug and alcohol certificate, and they can be set up to take their driving written test online. All you have to do is show up with your paperwork, your proofs of address, or whatever else you have at the DMV. They take it, they take your picture and the kid, and you pay your money, and your kid has a learner's permit. So we've done those. We have done world history, second segment, because she needed that. We have done journalism, we are doing Spanish, and we have done Algebra 1. We are doing Algebra 1 to catch up and to get ahead. One child's doing it to catch up, one child's doing it to get ahead before going into high school. It works out really well. So what's really cool is you set up your information, you go in, you can start anytime. It's not like you're registered as an FLVS student. There is a difference. You can be registered with the state as a state student. But I think the deadline's already happened, or it's like today or tomorrow. It's very, very close. And you would be registered as a state FLVS student, or you can come in as a homeschool student and you can pick and choose. And whenever they have an opening in the classroom, you go and you literally go at your own pace. Usually the way the paces are set up that you do 3 lessons a week, and they will tell you in the beginning of the module how much time each one should take. We could go all in all about using FLVS, and maybe we'll do that soon. But it works out really well. And if you're planning to go back into the school system for high school, FLVS is going to be your best option to keep those courses accounted for, because whatever you do with your own curriculum outside of FLVS will not be counted at the high school level. Keep that one in mind. Okay, so when you're registered through the district, you have to keep a portfolio. So let's go back to the rules. What's required. So the next part that it says on the Florida statutes 1002, no, is it one? Yeah, 1002.41. It says maintain a portfolio of educational records. And the statute defines the portfolio. This is where it gets into a log of educational activities which is made contemporaneously. So as you do them, not your plan, not, as you're doing them, with the instruction and which designates by title any reading material used. And then you are to provide a sample of any writing, worksheets, workbooks, or creative material used or developed by the student. So what does that mean? I have done different ways where I've bought a teacher's planner book and I wrote them all out. And then I've also done it where I've just taken the table of contents out and I write when we do it. There's nothing that says, there's literally nothing that says, this one talks about making your portfolio available, annual evaluation. I'm going to read them all to you because I want to get to a point. There's nothing that says what you have to do or how many days you have to do or how much is right. Because it says, then you need to make your portfolio available for inspection by the superintendent upon 15 days written notice. So if they send you like, hey, we want to see your portfolio, you have about 2 weeks to get your portfolio over there. It doesn't mean you hand it over. You don't have to hand it over. You can if you want to. It could mean we're at the counter and go ahead and look at it and I'm staying right here with my portfolio. You're not taking it. It doesn't mean they can photocopy. They can't photocopy pictures. It doesn't say any of that they're allowed to do or you have to submit. I'm just saying. You might run into that. Then you need to provide an annual educational evaluation of a student's educational progress to the superintendent. The evaluation must consist of one of the following. A Florida certified teacher chosen by the parent may evaluate the child's progress based on review of the portfolio and talking with the student. The student may take a nationally normed student achievement test administered by a certified teacher. The student may take a state student assessment test at a location and under testing conditions approved by the school's district. The student may also, my eyes are getting bad, sorry. The student may be evaluated by a psychiatrist, or the student may be evaluated with any other valid measuring tool that's been already agreed upon the superintendent. And then the next thing the statute says is you have to keep and have available your portfolio for 2 years. And then at the end of your homeschooling, you submit a letter of termination and annual evaluation for that last year upon completing your homeschool program. So the reason I say that is it doesn't say how many days you have to educate, and it doesn't say what you have to do. So when you do a portfolio, I like, and I definitely pick this up from Master Books. Master Books keeps a front page that has a list out of every lesson and when it's due and when it's completed and what's the grade. I like taking the table of contents out, photocopying them, and I stick it in there and I write when we do it. Sometimes I keep a portfolio by the subject. Sometimes I keep a portfolio by the month. It just depends what my curriculum looks like. If I have a very grouped curriculum, I kind of keep it separate. And then I just kind of go for the main subjects. And every month or every week, depending on what you like, I put something from the weekend. You could keep all your like workbooks if you use workbooks, and you could say, here it is. Not very practical. You can't kind of flip through it. What I typically do for keeping a portfolio is I create a sample, and then I have a box that has all the stuff they've done thrown in the box. Here's a portfolio. You want further explanation? Here's the box. And I put 6 kids in there. I don't even like separate it out. So you have to keep a portfolio. What is required to teach? I kind of hit on that already. You are not pretty much required for anything. but you are. So let's just be real. You can do a really bad job of homeschooling. If you can create a portfolio and get somebody to sign off on it, you can do a horrible job. But what benefit would you do for your child doing that? There are people that do horrible jobs homeschooling their children. And a lot of times that's why you get looked at like you're crazy for homeschooling your children. But you don't want your kids staying in your house the rest of your life that you're still taking care of them when they're 40. You want to make them, I assume, I make no conclusions anymore because of the way life is, but I assume you're going to raise your child to be an asset to the community and hopefully not a hinder. So I like to keep it simple, especially if this is your first year homeschooling. Keep it as simple as possible. If they are 8th grade and below, stick to math, English, science, and history, 4 subjects. Now listen, there is also the aspect of what is English. English is the constitute of reading and writing. Reading consists of phonics if you haven't learned to read, and then understanding and comprehending reading. The next is writing. That could be handwriting, spelling, and grammar. I'm into skill-based learning, so once you've achieved something, move on. There's lots of curriculums that have all of that in one, or they have the reading component and then they have the grammar component. It all depends on what you find and what you like. All right, but those are the typical subjects I teach, and keep it as simple as possible. It's your first year in. Do not conquer the world. But if you're in high school, be mindful of what you need to be doing, or can you be getting through high school classes? So I do want to talk real quick about if you want to dual enroll, you need to be 14 and you would take the PERT test. If you take the PERT test and you're 14 and you qualify for college classes, there's PERT scores that's required. We'll do a whole video on that later on if you want. You then can have the district sign off and you can go take college classes and sign them up. We're really close to deadline for fall. It might be a hard fit to get it done in time, but it is possible. Some of the things that are going on right now is they've kind of canceled the PERT requirement that it's required for you to start. But I'm not quite absolutely sure if that's being followed completely. So if you are a public school student, because I've already ran into this part, if you're a public school student, you are required to finish English, 10th grade English, and I believe Algebra 1, and then you can go to take your dual enrollment. But if you're homeschooling, those two don't require. You can go as long as you can test proficient and you are 14 years old. Some districts actually let you borrow the books to take the classes. Some don't. And you're not stuck to the only college in your town. You can go to a college out of town. Now, whether they have the books or not, different story. But those are options. Okay, getting help. I didn't know this. I've just learned this in the last year. Even if you live in a small town like me, and if a tutoring center is an hour away, there's tutors. Didn't even know this. So a lot of teachers kind of pull a second job by tutoring. What I've found so far, and tell me if you found different, they're about $30 an hour. Sometimes $20 for a half hour. Anywhere from phonics, science. In fact, this busy mom has a tutor that does Zoom meetings with my kids twice a week, $30 for an hour for algebra. I'm an engineer. I know algebra like the back of my hand, but it doesn't mean I have time to do it. And that helps me. So there are helps, there are tutors that you can get help with. You're going to have to do some digging. You're going to have to ask around and get a hold of their past teacher and ask them, do you know anybody who does tutoring? I'm going to want help here. And you'll be amazed what you can get a hold of. Last is evaluations. Take the portfolio, meet with your teacher, If you have somebody who's kind of like, I don't know if you should homeschool, they're typically not the person you want to evaluate you. If they've already got an idea of what they think or should be or shouldn't be homeschool, no. You want somebody who either has experience homeschooling or has the ability to understand, that's open. And sometimes you want to have that relationship long before you decide you need your evaluation. You're going to want ahead of time, or maybe at the beginning, try and begin finding those teachers and say, I'm going to need an evaluation. This is what I'm using. What is it you want to see in my evaluation? And could you give me any help? Those are the best people to evaluate you. They're hard to find. And it's great having just another set of hands and mind to help you figure out how to customize your child's education to be the best. Here's something to look into. And when you submit, ask. If you submit September 1st, when is your evaluation due? Because I believe, and what I understood, I didn't understand it at first, and I've just now understood it, was I thought when I registered, whether it be November or September or June, by the start of the next school year, I better have an annual evaluation for that school year. I have learned differently. I've learned in my county, it's the 1 year anniversary of your intention, your letter of intent. Oh, congratulations, Mayflower. So it's the letter of intent. That anniversary is when it's due. So what happens if you put your kid back in school before that anniversary? You don't have to submit one. Double check with your county, because that's my county. You don't have to submit one. So I'm going to tell you, my phone is vibrating here because my daughter and her FLVS teacher are texting back and forth with each other because she has to do a DBA, which is a discussion-based assessment. And then when she does it, she can get her password to take the test. And they're having a slight conversation through this video. So I'm very sorry. So those are the big things. I'm going to put the links down below about how to get a hold of your county, the FPEA Get Started link. The pros and cons are kind of like why this one mom doesn't use an umbrella, but just things to think about because it's very convenient. You send some paperwork, you send your attendance, and you're done. And I know people who graduate out of it just fine, but just some other aspects to think about doing it. Your FLVS, the statutes for Florida, that laundry list of curriculum. And I'm going to put two other curriculum sources on top of that. One is christianbooks.com has an amazing homeschool store within it. And I just had found out that the people who work for Masterbooks that do a lot of the video chats, they're really phenomenal video chats. So definitely check out Masterbooks on YouTube. They actually owned the homeschool bookstore and sold it to Christian Books. They're the ones who got that bookstore started. It's phenomenal. Lots of great resources in there. And then the other mega store is rainbowresource.com. There a lot of times show up at the homeschool convention because they just have everything. They have things, they have things you would never think of. So I love going there, especially when I'm in a topic and I want to find more resources that I wouldn't think to find. I go there. And then definitely go check out FPEA.com. They have an annual convention that got canceled this year. Thank you, Corona. But they have a lot of resources on top of it too. And you can join their membership and you get little perks. And they have forms that's really easy to fill out that you can send. So I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions, I don't know, maybe we'll do another live video since I can't record a video and I haven't figured out how to get certain things done to get you started on this. So if you haven't done so, give me a thumbs up if you like this video and found it helpful. The other aspect is to hit the subscribe button so you get what's going on, and hit the bell. Hit the bell. I do a lot of live video chats. I'm here to help you. It's just moms helping moms get through this, and you're going to do great. I promise you. And you can always go back, and you can always stay and love it the rest of your time with your kids. So I will talk to you later. Until next time, see you soon. Take care and be well.